Like any boy who grew up in England in the 90s, David Beckham had quite the impression of the way I dressed. From the sarong to the braided hair, the faux hawk, these looks were at the cutting edge at the time. They were experimental, for some they caused outrage, but for most of us, we just wanted to copy them. So British Vogue have done a retrospective look at 29 of David Beckham's outfits, and I thought it'd be good just to go through each one. Try not to look at them through today's eyes so much, because from memory, not a lot has lasted the test of time. However, there may be things that we're circling back to, and it's just nice to have a look at them. I haven't looked at the images all through yet, but I know for a fact I'll have seen each one of them. There was no internet at the time. You had to fight for every magazine or newspaper to get a look at an image of what he was wearing and then try to replicate it yourself. I certainly had many of his haircuts. I didn't go quite as far as wearing a sarong, but I didn't stop too far short. So let's have a look at them. It's going to bring back some good memories, and yeah, let's get stuck in. Before we do get into it, guys, please remember to like and subscribe, because it really helps me grow the channel and reach new audiences as well. So if you could do that, if you get anything from the video, it'd be super appreciated. And if you're interested in menswear, do check out archeronwoods.com for pre-owned items. I also offer a style consultancy and personal shopping service, so check out archeronwoods.com for that. Let's get into it. First up, we've got this look, which was for his range of police sunglasses back in 2002. Now, this gives me big D&G vibes. I don't know if the outfit is D&G, but I remember that sort of time period. They were having a bit of a moment, especially with the sort of light blue denims and the sort of browns of the leathers. Big chunky belt you got there, obviously that leather duster he's wearing. And that haircut. Like, I definitely tried that haircut. Never successfully got this one, because I was trying to explain about the shaved bit at the front. They never got it right. Big diamond earrings. The coat's just a real statement piece. And then if we go down, look at those chunky boots. Those boots would go down really well today. The jeans, maybe so. I'm not a big lover of rips and tears in them. Simple white tee, good. The glasses and coat, maybe not so much. But ultimately, solid look. Looking at today, just love the colour scheme. So next up, we've got this look at the 2002 Commonwealth Games when he was carrying a baton. Was that? I thought it was a torch, but no, it's the Commonwealth Game. A baton. I really remember this, mostly because I believe it was after the 2002 World Cup. He scored that amazing redemption of a penalty against Argentina. We sadly got dinged out against Brazil, and this was actually one of my first real memorable World Cups. I was a little bit too young and not as interested in 1998, although I do remember him getting sent off. But that's a different story. That's a different channel altogether. For this video, for me, it was all about the hair, because he'd gone to the World Cup with that, I'm sure we'll probably see it later, but that bleached mohawk, which I got, definitely got that. And then afterwards, grew it out a little bit, got the bleach bits, a little bit of a mullet going on as well. And this was one I had probably the longest, this haircut. So I was using gel to get all the bits in the right places. I just really liked this haircut. I thought it was great. Tracksuit, it's of the time tracksuit. A lot of white, like lighter colors as well, like whites. It was like a crisp, clean time for like menswear, but it was also a very big one for like sportswear, recreational wear as well. Like I remember people wearing a lot of NBA stuff and like things in New England and in UK with sports that we had no idea about. Like I had a Tennessee Titans American football jersey and loads of stuff like that. So it was like loose, baggy. Hip hop had really kicked off in the UK, along with UK garage as well. So it was a big influence with music also. This is a look of his, similar with the sort of tracksuits. You've got the samurai hair. So this was about when he was signing for Real Madrid, right? So this says 2002, but this feels later than that. I don't know when he signed for Real Madrid. It must have been about 2003 or 4. He'd broken his wrist. I remember that. Did he do that before a tournament? I think he did that before a tournament. Anyway, tracksuit, big, baggy. Nowadays, not a fan. Iconic hairstyle. This one here, we've got him in a beanie hat in New York in 2002, they're saying as well. Jacob and Curry on the wrist. Oversized sort of white t-shirt, which I like. The beanies were the one with him. If you get the hair sticking out the bottom of your beanie, and then the really wide leg trousers. So at the time, Maharishi these that look too baggy to be Maharishi, but at the time, we were wearing a lot of them. Again, not one that's lasted the test of time too well. All right, so image number 5, we got him with Victoria and Elton John at their mansion in 2001. So this is him with the skinhead. Again, iconic when he shaved off the curtains and everyone saw the shaved head. People lost their minds. It was insane. Like people actually went nuts. Men and women alike, distraught about it. But it looked good. It was a solid look. The skinhead it always worked for him. In terms of the outfit, it's some sort of dappery look. I don't know if this is like a costume event, because if you look at what Elton's wearing as well, it's within the outfit. Not sure about the white socks with this though. Okay, here we go. This is a bit more up my street. Airport style 2003. So this was about the sort of Real Madrid transfer time. This feels Gucci to me. This suit looks like sort of Tom Ford Gucci in terms of the structure. I have one of theirs from that sort of time, and it's very similar to this. Nice little pinstripe to it. Deep V t-shirt, definitely a Dolce & Gabbana chain, because I and loads of people in Essex when I grew up had these exact ones. And then these sort of boot cut jeans with some, again, brown boots. Boots are pretty cool. He still wears his jeans in the same way because he's quite a tall guy. And like some footballers, has quite bowed legs. I don't know if that helps the whip on the ball, but that cut of jean does seem to work for him. The suit, I like the structure of the suit. Obviously nowadays I prefer him to wear it with some real trousers, and obviously the belt and the t-shirt showing there, and the deep V. Hasn't lasted, but in terms of couple pairing, it's a good one. Number 7, him in this sort of Michigan State top. Again, was when we were wearing a lot of like American sports stuff. From a modern point of view, hate it. But the trucker hat is the big signifier here. Trucker hats and Von Dutches and vintage was starting to become a thing in my memory, and we were all going for the trucker hats, which ended up being all fake vintage anyway. They weren't real. This was an epic image, this one here. So we've got him, I think he was in Japan at the time he was in Japan or somewhere in Asia, because it was after the 2002 Japanese World Cup. Japanese and Korean one. So it was the size of those jeans. Epic. Like, same sort of belts. I had a couple of those belts. There's a lot of t-shirts with like graphics going around. Especially after that World Cup, there was a lot of football related graphic tees that were actually like in fashion. Whereas today, every brand ripped it off, since every single sort of like fast fashion brands, and ruined the whole thing, even though it looks terrible from today's point of view. Key point to look at here is the double t-shirt. So this was copied by so many people, just wearing 2 t-shirts underneath, maybe rolling the inner sleeve up over the outer sleeve, maybe getting a bit of neckline in. Yeah, that was something I copied quite a fair bit. Yeah, so here he is in the England suit. I believe this was by Burton. So this is the same suit they went to the World Cup in. I remember the big chunky ties. I quite like the colour sort of palette, this sort of bluey grey going on. And yeah, flared almost trousers, strong shoulders. For the time, it's actually pretty good. This wasn't bad. And for Burton, very good. All right, so this is 2001 skinhead David, and this kind of looks like a beigey, it might be suede, this shirt, this overshirt over another shirt, 2 big collars as well, long cuff, which was a bit of a thing at the time, and then these kind of, are they corduroy trousers or maybe even suede trousers? Lots of beige. I quite like this, weirdly. I don't like the collars. I like I would wear that sort of overshirt for sure, and the trousers are okay, maybe a bit boot cutty at the bottom, but overall not bad at all. This is a strong look. So this is obviously 1998, 97. That suit is absolutely horrendous. The tie, the shape of that tie, the size of the tie, the suit. I mean, it's of its time, so you've got to appreciate it and love it, but still, it's a bad one. It's a bad one. 1999, the kind of curtains that ended up being like a side parting curtains, like this was an evolution out of the gelled curtains he had originally. He looks good. He looks like an impersonator of David Beckham in this photo. He looks so David Beckham that he looks like an impersonator. Big, strong collar, that short collar in that shirt, which was the thing. I like it. I'm not going to knock it. Simple white shirt, buttons undone, a bit of a necklace, maybe a Gucci necklace this time because of the thin chain. It's of its time. The hair looks good. Yeah, big fan. We'll get to the more controversial ones now, so I think. This is at J. Jagger's jewellery range in 1999. So he's wearing like a deep V-neck, but with an vest underneath, all black, some wildly fitting trousers. This is like Simon Cowell level trousers, where there's so much material going on at the bottom, and then some boots. And then the headscarf. The headscarf was, I think this was pre-sarong. And yeah, it definitely got people talking. For that alone, you've got to appreciate it. No one was doing that. It looks ridiculous now to me. I don't like the outfit, but I like it's all black. I actually quite like the neckline, but yeah, not for me. Because the scarf doesn't go with the black at all. It's one of those ones, it looks like it's trying too hard. Okay, here we are in 2004 in Madrid with Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce. I like the hair in this one, where he's cut it all short. It's got a little bit of texture in it. it's by today's standards, we're looking at this outfit as a bit of a car crash because of the jeans. They look really crap. But today's standards, it's a bad outfit. You've got top half, you've got nice and smart, untucked into some really loose jeans and some boots. Yeah, it's a confusing one, but I like the blazer shirt combo, but yeah, not with the boots. Okay, we are so they're in Cannes in 2000 and doesn't say. It's like this silky shirt, big cross medallion, silky trousers and some shoes. Not particularly a big fan of this one. This is just a lot, and it looks like a leopard print pattern. The cross thing, yeah, looks like a 70s fancy dress event. So yeah, not into that. Right, so on to this one, where very similar to one we looked at previously, was with Beyonce and J-Lo, but way better. The jacket is like a sort of velvety jacket. All right, there's a lot of buttons undone, and the beads very off their time. Let's just try to ignore that and leave it where it was. The jeans are much nicer. They're still a bit boot cutty, but a nicer colour, like a richer colour, a cleaner colour. Not so many sort of wrinkles and pools of material. And then going into some boots, which are relatively slim, like a Cuban heel boot or a motorcycle boot. And that doesn't look so bad at all. And I think what I really like about this, which is, it's almost like Tom Ford wears now, is the long sleeve and then the longer shirt sleeve. It looks very, I don't know, 18th century, I think would be the time period. Something flowy, and yeah, it's interesting, it's different. It's not one I particularly would want to wear too much of today. I like the blazer, but it's a good one. It's got a nice tan. The shaved head looks good. It's a solid look. For looks we might want to leave behind, but again, our iconic is this one. This all white suit, the samurai haircut, 2 diamond cross chains. I don't know why you'd need 2 of them. Got a very slim shawl lapel to the blazer, long sleeves again. The colour of it's nice and clean, and obviously they're pairing as a couple, but these are bad shoes. And the suit cut itself is nice. The trousers, so what is this, 2000, probably 2003, this is. The cut of the suit's lovely. It's got really nice length to the jacket. I like a broader lapel. The shoulders are relatively narrow as well, which is something different from the time. So there's a nice slimness to that suit for that time period. Again, with the trousers also, and not too much of a pulling off the trousers or a break at the bottom. Just those shoes. It's just wearing all white and then diamonds. It's very gauche, and we'll leave that there. So again, we've got another iconic look here. This was a sleeveless shirt with some ruffs in it and a do-rag. At the time, I remember it being groundbreaking. The sleeveless shirt was like cutting edge, high fashion at the time, and there were brands like Dries Van Noten that I'd be looking at to try to emulate it. Oh, I was not wearing the do-rag, but let David do his thing. It's a look, it's experimenting, and it was 2000, so yeah, you can do what you want. We zoom forward in time now to a look that I actually haven't seen this, but I love it. All black, similar to that white one we looked at, but it's all black, and which just makes it nicer. The cut of the suit's nice. He's wearing a V-neck, which I would probably want to change out. You can wear a little black vest underneath, maybe. Smaller and not diamonds rosaries. So this was the sort of D&G rosary period, which I had one of them, and I still have it somewhere. No problem with that at all. I like it. I like this look. And then everyone wanted to break their wrist because they wanted a cast like David Beckham at that time. We all wanted to just hopefully do he did a scaphoid, I think it was, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it looked good. And the hair slicked back, which was a bit different as well. I like this. David and Victoria backstage at a Whitney Houston concert. So this was probably about 97. This is a kind of like velvety jacket with a bit of texture to it. It's cropped, it's very cropped. No belt this time. Matching Victoria. The jacket is cool, but also not something I'd want to wear. Very cropped. I'd like to, I prefer him with the belt as well. But yeah, it's not what I particularly like. Okay, we're on to one of the epic ones, the double leather ensemble. This blew people's minds back in the day. I loved it. This ended up, every brand from Gucci, D&G, Prada were doing similar sort of biker jackets after this. I can't say I'd want to go full leather, but they looked great. They got headlines. They knew exactly what they're doing. Pairing, matching each other as well. They were the power couple at this sort of time. All the way down to the little white vest underneath. And the boots are pretty cool. The boots are very similar to our Legacy Chameleons that I've got, like almost exactly the same. The jacket, I'm not a lover of biker jackets, but the slimness of it makes you feel like you could definitely wear it today. Iconic. Not so iconic as the next one. This is a similar coat to the one we saw in the first photo. There's a lot going on. This is like a big duster with a big collar. The hair's the proper middle parting curtains, which after having for so many years, I don't want to return to. Cotton trousers that have a lot of material going on at the bottom. The shoes are quite nice if they're on their own. There's too much going on here, too flashy, too try-hardy. I'd leave this one. Next, we have this real proper of its time outfit. So this was one that the denim, like bootcut jeans, and would be the winkle pickers or these kind of like contrast shoes, pointed shoes were a big thing. Yeah, I'm not a lover of that. Luckily for David, he had quite long legs. I do not have long legs, so when I was wearing something like this, it didn't look good. I like the structure of that blazer. I like the strong shoulders, the nice lapels. Could easily be wearable today. Don't like the colour of it. Don't like the matching of the colours because it's all bright and light. It looks very cheap and tacky today for my eyes today. The shirt's nice and clean. Again, big collar on it. Her hair looks good. Like it. But I like the length of the jacket for the time period. The slimness of the jacket. It really works well. So we've got David, Victoria and Emma Bunton for this one. I guess they picked this one because of this sort of tank top. The tank top was quite a big deal back then. There was a really great photo he did for the front cover of Arena, I think, with this sort of St. George's cross one that was burnt all out. That was really cool. This is boring. Same with the trousers. Nothing really interesting about this one. For this image, they've got an image of him and they're saying he's in Stockport in 2001. So for American audiences, Stockport is quite a random place. So the glasses, phone and jumper date the image quite nicely, 2001. And yeah, one we should leave there as well. This next image is a guilty pleasure of mine. So big, wide, baggy trousers, Timberland boots, a very slinky vest with like really thin little shoulder bits as well. And then these were like Chanel sunglasses, which guys were wearing a lot of women's sunglasses at that time. There was, I don't know if they're going to bring them up, we've not got many images left, but he was wearing those big Chanel ones, those big ski goggles. And yeah, it just reminds me of that time. If you were to watch the first series of Love Island, which probably came out around about this sort of time period, everyone was wearing white vests and jeans and then like big belts and Timberlands as well. So this whole outfit pretty much. And it was a thing. We all wore it. We all thought we were David Beckham. None of us were, but I miss it. 1998 now, and this black and white image. I don't like this outfit at all. This was pre-David Beckham being the sort of like style icon that he became. It's black and white. It's really tough to do like that. You're a piano key. It's tough. Big, long leather jacket. Yeah, not feeling it. The sarong. Here we are. The thing that started it all, really. This made people lose their minds in one way or another. It made men question a lot about themselves. It made a lot of builders very angry. It was an interesting time. I personally thought, I remember thinking, wow, first of all, like, that is ballsy to do that. I was a little bit like, also be like, this is totally lame. How could you wear that at school? But secretly, I admired it. Never, obviously, I never wore it myself. I like the sandals. The sort of V-neck, the very shallow V vest is pretty terrible. But for the moment, for what it did, for that real tipping point of androgyny and experimenting, and it was almost like guys could then start to care about the way they dress. Not necessarily like this, but just like it didn't matter anymore. There was metrosexuality, if that is the full word for it. Guys would just be like, oh, I'm gonna just take care of the way I look and put gel in my hair at the time and things like that. It sounds really obvious today that we do it all, but honestly, up until this point, not so much. We weren't as open about it anyway. Whilst it's a objectively terrible outfit, at the time it was a real turning point in terms of young boys and men expressing themselves, dressing up and enjoying the clothes they wear and not worrying about being called names. Although I definitely got called names quite a lot for a lot of things I wore. Anyway, guys, there's a look at David Beckham's history of menswear. There's a few outfits they definitely missed in here, but this was a pretty good summary of the past few decades with David Beckham. Let me know what you think. What was your favourite fit? Did you like any of them? And would you wear any of them? Drop a comment below. Do check out store.archeryonwards.com. And if you could like and subscribe on the way out, I'd be super grateful. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Cheers.